It's Mrs. Garver. First, we miss you a lot. I wish I was with you in person to go over some of this stuff, but hopefully this will work and cover the basics. I am here, and so is Mrs. Lichtenauer if there's anything that you need. I'm going to create a short series of videos, either 2 or 3, depending on how long it takes to get through the information. We're going to start off talking about our website, where to find information that you need, and then I'll go over a college application timeline and talk a little bit to you about what you should be doing and thinking about if you are applying to college next year. Then we're also going to go over how to set up your Naviance account. Naviance is the online program that we use to communicate about where you are applying to college and to gather all the pieces of your application. But it also has some great college exploration tools. And so we're going to show you how to get into that so that you can use that account to be looking at some college options, okay? So the first thing I want to do is make sure that you know how to get to our website. And every time we come in and we get on our website with you, we ask you to bookmark this page. So many of you may have it bookmarked. If not, right now you can see that I'm on the high school website. The counseling office website, if you go on the menu on the side here on the left side, is just underneath the main high school website. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the LVHS counseling office website. You can also Google Licking Valley High School Counseling Office and you'll find it that way. So this is what our page looks like. You'll see at the top, we've got kind of the service learning information just for this year's seniors under COVID. They've got some little changes that they're making, but only for this year. At this point, we don't expect any other classes to be under that, so you should continue planning to get your service learning done the traditional way. But I want you to look down here under junior information. So if you don't have our website bookmarked, please do that. And then we're going to come down here to junior information. And this, as I'm making the video, we've got a number of resources on here. We're going to be adding to that. So when you even go to visit the page, you may see a couple more things on here as well, because I'm going to add the videos I'm making. Mrs. Lichtenauer is doing a parent video, and she's putting together some written information to share as well with parents. So we're kind of tag teaming that, and that information will all show up here as well. So where you see that junior college guide, that's the stuff Mrs. Lichtenauer is working on, is going to go there. Okay. So to start with, I want us to open this roadmap to college. And I thought about making a PowerPoint, and I thought, you know what, if we were sitting in class, we would go through this together and just talk about it. And so I'm going to approach it that way kind of right now. I know you can read this. I'm just going to go through and try to highlight things that I think are super important. And I hope that you'll reach out if you've got questions. Both Mrs. Lichtenauer and I are available by Zoom. We're available by phone. Our phone numbers that we're using at home, they're on our website. You can text and take calls on them. They're Google Voice numbers, 9 to 3 on school days. So that's an option if you ever have any questions. And then, of course, email. Okay. So we would love to set up time to talk to you at any of this stuff if you want to. That would be a really fun thing for us. So please don't hesitate to ask if you want to do that or you want to do it with your parents together. We would be happy to do so. Okay. So this is set up kind of as a to-do list and a timeline, trying to help you think about where hopefully you should be in this process if you are planning to apply to especially a four-year college. And then maybe if you aren't doing some of these things, we get you kind of started on it, thinking, okay, better get moving. At the very top, got a little bit of a disclaimer there. You are doing this in the age of COVID, and honestly, it's going to look different for you in some ways than it has for some others. And that's been a little bit of my struggle in getting this information out to you, is trying to get a better and clearer picture of how this process can, it might be changing. I think that what I've kind of come to realize is, and I think no one will be surprised to hear it, the situation is so quickly evolving and changing, and nobody knows quite where we're going to be next fall. So a lot of what I'm telling you is kind of a traditional way of approaching things, a couple little tweaks that I made as we went, but also understand that you're going to need to be flexible through this. You're going to need to expect changes to happen, announcements from colleges to be made, deadlines might end up changing. If they do, my guess is they'd move back because that's what we've seen so far. But I wouldn't count on that. I would just be prepared to be flexible. Also, you need to be keeping track of announcements from any schools you're interested in. So that's going to be really important. And then also testing companies like ACT and College Board. Mrs. Lichtenauer and I will be tracking especially the testing information as much as we can, and then colleges that a lot of our kids apply to, we'll try to kind of keep on top of that, but it's not possible for us to track every single college. So you've got to kind of be paying attention to what the policies are at the schools that you intend to apply to or you're interested in applying to, and you need to be following those and tracking those and making sure that you're doing everything you need to do to stay on top of that. And we'll help if you've got questions, we'll help you try to find information if you're struggling to find it, but just kind of know that this process is going to be a little bit different. To start up exploration, and hopefully a lot of you have already been on college campuses and done visits. And what I would normally say at this point is get out there and go do it. Well, right now a lot of campuses are shut down. So there's a lot of great online options. It is not the same thing as setting foot on a campus. So if you've not been able to do that yet, as soon as those campuses open up, I hope that you will take advantage of that and talk to your parents about kind of getting those visits scheduled. But online right now is a great way to begin the process. Naviance, that I'm going to show you here in a little bit, will be a great starting point, especially if your question is kind of, I don't even know where to start looking. I don't even know what campuses I want to go look at. Naviance is a great start for that. And then also on our website, I've listed these 3 virtual college visit sites that you can go to that have links to lots of different colleges, and you can get to virtual visits to a lot of campuses from Naviance as well. But if you're just kind of starting to peruse and browse, that's a good place to go. Okay, so starting to explore is really important. When you can visit, you should visit. That's a really, you know, that's a critical piece of the process. You don't want the first time you see a campus to be the day you move there, because it's kind of like buying a house. You wouldn't want to buy a house that you're just seeing on the computer, because those pictures can, look beautiful when you can pick and choose which angles you take them from. So you want to get on campus as soon as possible. I'm guessing that's probably going to be late summer, early fall at this point. But again, we just have to follow the guidelines and see what comes. So another thing that's going to be even more important, I would say, than normal, and it's normally important, is to set up a relationship with an admission rep at schools that you're interested in. So especially because visits are tough, if there's a school that you're really interested in, maybe reaching out to them with a call or email, setting up a meeting that you could talk to them. I know a lot of admission reps are using Zoom right now, so you can set up individual meetings with them, maybe do a virtual tour, and then you and your parents can sit down and talk to them over Zoom. Things like that are options. So starting that process now and not waiting is a really good idea. Financing is super important, okay? So this is huge. If you've not already done it, you need to have a conversation with your parents about finances that are available for college. This is really important information for you to have as you walk your way through this college search process. So there are different tools online that can help you. There's one example there of the USO website, which can be helpful through some of that. But ultimately, you don't want to be in a situation where you're thinking one thing and your parents are thinking something else about how college is going to get paid for. And then you apply and maybe get into a school and you're thinking, okay, mom and dad are paying for all of it. And mom and dad are thinking, we're not able to do that. So you want to have that conversation up front. What's the budget? Who's paying for what? Who's responsible for what? So that you know that as you're searching colleges and as you're applying. That is very, very important. And it is not too early to start looking for scholarships, okay? So if you go to our website to do a college scholarship search, that's under, it says senior information and scholarships, because the vast majority of scholarships that are local for us show up in senior year. But if you come here, this is some of the local ones that are still open at the moment. But we have these scholarship search engines, and this is a great place for you to start as a junior, is that you can come here and click on these search engines, and a lot of them will have you set up an account and maybe give some information about you, and then based on your profile information, they'll send you different scholarships that they think you might qualify for. That's how some of them work. Others work by earning points based on different things you do. There's all different kinds of ways that this can work, but check that out, because this scholarship search engine place is a really good place to start as a junior. And then heading into your senior year, you're going to see more under this list of local scholarships that apply to you. So Please get kind of moving on that sooner than later. There's no reason to wait. For testing. All right, I just this morning had a conversation. Today is May 6th. So this morning I was talking to Mr. Weaver and Mrs. Lichtenauer about the ACT. It's been an ongoing conversation since shutdown and when we had to redo the ACT. So I know that a lot of you at this point don't have an ACT score because the ACT ended up getting canceled because of the technical issues. As of this, well, yes, as of this morning, when I logged on, actually, I would say yesterday afternoon, when I logged on, they were saying, okay, we have a June 13th test and you can register by May 8th, and that's going to be an in-person test. This morning, they sent an email out to all of us saying, hey, we're going to start doing online testing at home in the fall. This is ACT that I'm talking about. So in our conversation this morning, we're all struggling to imagine why they would do an in-person group test in June or July, even though those are currently still open for registration, if they're going to go to online home testing in the fall. So we feel like there's a decent chance that they're going to end up coming out and saying we're not doing in-person testing in the summer. We're going to start doing at-home testing online in the fall. That's kind of a guess on our part, but at the moment, they're still doing registration for this June test date, and Friday, May 8th, a couple days from now, is your last date to sign up. That's actstudent.org. As for the SAT, they are not even trying to do any testing until August 29th, and the registration is not even open for that. So if you want to try to take the SAT, they're going to open registration at collegeboard.org at the end of May. And so that hasn't happened. They haven't even given us exact registration date. They said they'll let us know later by like the May 26th or something when it's going to open, but it'll be the end of May sometime. Okay. So preparing to apply, on top of those other things that we just talked about, get your service learning requirement taken care of and turn it in. You're not done if your hours are done until you've turned your paper in. So get that done so that you do not have to worry about it and we don't have to harass you about it next year. So turn it in. And if you're home now and you just want to get it done, you can share your paper with us in Google, and you can just take a picture of your log or just send a PDF to us and you can be finished. So you can turn it in now virtually, that's fine. Create a resume. That's a great step to do right now, because when you hit the application process in the fall for the colleges and the scholarships, you're going to want that done. A lot of those are going to ask the same questions over and over again about activities you've been involved in, jobs you've had, prizes and awards that you've won. So if you can have that all organized in one place, it's going to save you a lot of time. So that would be a good use of your time right now. Make sure that you're taking advantage of opportunities to get involved as much as possible. I know there's some kind of challenges with that right now, but please do whatever you can. Register for rigorous coursework your senior year. Colleges don't just look at GPA. They also look at the rigor of the classes you took, and they will consider that. So if you want to talk about scheduling for next year, reach out to your counselor. Make sure that if you want honors diploma, that you scheduled appropriately for that. Have a thoughtful kind of conversation maybe with your parent or guardian and teachers about if you should be in Journey to College or Journey Beyond LV next year. If you are planning to apply to four-year colleges, you should be in Journey to College, okay? If you're not, then that will be frustrating to you, so put yourself in the correct class. You want to start your list of colleges that you think you might want to apply to. And if you want to do College Credit Plus, the deadline to turn in your paper to tell us that was on May 1st. But a lot of the schools, if you have your paper in, Ohio State deadline has passed, but some of the other schools like COTC are still open. So that could be an option for some of you if you turned in your intent to participate form. And then you need to take a minute and reach out to any teacher that you are going to ask to write a letter of recommendation next year, and kind of just touch base with them now and say, hey, as I'm looking ahead at applying to colleges and scholarships, I'm wondering if you'd be willing to write me a letter in the fall. You're not asking them for it today, but it gives them the heads up. And some of our teachers spend some time over the summer kind of getting ready for that and preparing and maybe even starting writing them. So it just is nice to communicate with that with them. Okay. So I am going to stop this video as part 1 and give you a little bit of a break, and we'll come back, and in the next second video we're going to talk about your senior year and what you need to do in your senior year to apply for college.